Kock. Korn. Should we explain a very brief summary of the title of this podcast?
Well, first of all, welcome to the Korn and Kock podcast. I have my arms up like I'm trying to explain it to like a person, like we're being recorded right now. It's only audio.
I didn't know. I like that. I was gonna see how long you were gonna keep your hands up before you realized that, or you're like catching a football.
Yes, sir, toss me the pigskin, fam. No, yeah, sure. Introduce us.
All right.
Give us a rundown of what we are.
Well, it's called Korn and Kock, but see, it's weird because I'm not Korn. I'm Kock. So
no one said you were.
Well, I would say like
no one said who you were. You're putting roles. You're giving yourself roles.
No, just let me finish. Okay, so my name is Stone Cockler, and then the co-host over here.
Whoa, man, your first name is Stone.
Stone Cockler with a K, not a C. And then my buddy co-host, his name is.
Oh, I'm the co-host.
Well, I'm a co-host. You're a co-host. It's not host and co-host. It's two co-hosts. I don't want to say the word host anymore.
That's crazy.
So we got Alex Korn, but the thing is both of our last names start with K-O. So we decided, the team is Korn and Kock. Because we tried Kock and Korn, but that doesn't really doesn't really roll off the tongue. So it's Korn and Kock.
It doesn't roll off the tongue. We tried. We went through many various test runs of the names. We were like.
Many various, more like
what did
3.
Did we have any alternate names for this
no,
dumb piece of shit?
No, Korn and Kock came pretty natural, and it was like one of the first things. It was like Korn and Kock, and that was it. At least from what I remember.
Any more introductions? Oh, he plays drums. I draw.
I also.
We gotta use it. We gotta use it.
Use what?
The thumbnail.
We're not using that thumbnail.
Okay.
We can talk about
I'll flash it up on screen.
Okay, yeah, you can flash it briefly, but we're not having it sit up there. All right.
Fine.
We'll talk about it.
Our friend Zane made a thumbnail for us, and it's me as Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory, and him as I'm pointing to him like you can see me pointing to him.
Keep using your hands.
It's a habit I need to break.
No, let me say it. Okay, so look, Sheldon Cooper or
who cares?
Sheldon?
It's
okay, but yours
Big
is
Bang
bad.
Theory. Who gives a
but
shit?
Yours is bad. I'm represented by Charles Manson with a swastika on his forehead, and I don't want to be represented.
Being
by
represented as Sheldon is way worse, and I will fight that to the grave.
No.
Are you kidding me?
Dude, Charles Manson.
Charles Manson killed people, but
that's all you
Big
have to
Bang
say.
Theory tries to be nerd humor. And fails miserably.
It is nerd humor for some parts.
No, it's not.
I said for some parts.
It's terrible.
It's
awful. I've never seen an episode, and it already makes me want to throw up.
And then what does James Hetfield represent? Because James Hetfield's in the photo too.
Oh yeah, he is. It's supposed to represent early 2000s when people would make animated like hentai music videos on YouTube.
Geez. Can we not talk about?
And they would stretch and skew an image so much that it would just like end up looking like 4 blocks on the screen.
Can we not talk about early 2000s? That was
early 2000s was Kino. It was amazing.
It was a low point for a lot of people. A lot of bands. The end of the 90s and early 2000s were a definite low point for especially musicians. And movies were pretty good, but I don't know. I feel like, the early 2000s, stuff happened, but
early 2000s was great. Anything you have to say now after this point, I'm shutting you down.
Oh, come on. I can also just say very quickly.
Saint Anger came out in the early 2000s.
2003.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Yeah, 2003. And then Binarial by Pearl Jam came out in 2000.
Stone's a big metalhead. And
Pearl Jam is not metal.
Stone's a big music head.
Yeah, pretty much.
Except he won't listen to anything by Nicki Minaj. But specifically that because one time we recorded ourselves playing Mario Party.
Oh, God.
And I told him to name the episode Starships Were Meant to Fly. And he thought it was really unique. And then he found out that it was a Nicki Minaj song title. He was like, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, had I known it was Nicki Minaj, I wouldn't have titled it that. I would have called it something else.
Okay. But anyways, as I was saying before I was interrupted by... I'm just kidding, you didn't interrupt. I draw, and what we have on screen will be a thumbnail that I drew. Logo was done by a buddy of mine online
Big
though.
shout out to that guy.
His name is Golden Shades. Check him out. That's his username, dude.
That's a good username.
I've known him for like, not really, because I don't want to say I've known him because we haven't really talked a whole lot. But I knew who he was. I've known who he was for like years.
It still counts.
He went by another username a long time ago, but now he goes by Golden Shades. And he composes music. I'll link his YouTube channel in the description. He composes really good shit.
Yeah, and big shout out to the guy for helping us out.
Oh yeah,
Golden Shades.
We love you, and he's working on something for the podcast that's gonna come probably in the next episode or maybe an episode after that. We don't know, but coming soon. It'll be good shit. Don't worry.
Good shit.
All right.
Another thing about me is I'm really into music. I play drums, but I'm also really into baseball, to which no one else really knows or cares about. So, of course, I have to talk about it a lot.
It's true. Him and another friend we have, all they ever talk about is baseball.
In fact,
that's all they ever talk about. They come to my house to visit me and they just start talking about baseball. They start shooting the shit with baseball.
Literally,
it's like, hey, did you see Randy Orton? He's a fucking wrestler. What's wrong with me?
Oh, I thought you were talking about Randy Johnson. No, but he's right.
Yeah, of course you'd correct me like that.
I bought a Seattle Mariners hat, and I'm very happy. But no, yeah, me and Russell will come over to Alex's house.
You just said his name.
Well, we didn't say his last name, so no one knows who he is.
Fuck.
We can say people's first names all day long if we don't say their last names.
That's not what I was worried about. I thought we were just going to keep it anonymous to them, but whatever.
I mean, you just say their first
name.
name.
Yeah, I'm afraid to ever have him as a guest on the podcast because fucking...
It's going to be us for a while.
No. I'm scared because you guys are going to come on here and all you're going to talk about is baseball.
No, okay.
All you're going to talk about is baseball,
no.
and I'll be in the background like, can we talk about something cool?
Cool. No, we won't talk about baseball. We'll just talk about, like, briefly, like I was saying before, a couple of times we'll come over to, like, go get lunch or something. And sometimes we'll, like, wait for Alex to, get ready. So me and Russell will get on the computer, Alex's computer, and we'll just show each other baseball clips of everything, which I won't get into detail. And...
Well, okay, I'll give you this. Some of them are kind of funny.
Yeah, like I show you the good stuff. Russell shows you the boring stuff.
One of my favorite that you ever showed me was the...
I think I know.
I love the one where, what's his face? He throws the pitch, and it hits the guy in the arm, and he runs off to the side a little bit. He looks at the guy, and then he looks away, and then he takes off his helmet and goes running towards him to punch him, and then the entire both benches just clear and just tackle each other.
Oh yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, see baseball fights. Oh, what about Bo Jackson?
Frickin' Bo Jackson,
dude,
man.
Bo Jackson is like...
There goes up the wall! He runs up the wall like a parkour expert, like it was the hip thing to do.
Spider-Man!
Yeah, the frickin' announcer.
Yeah, see, I like watching,
He's like, I'm hip, I know who superheroes are.
What's he like?
Spider-Man.
I like watching baseball fights, like when the bench is clear and everything, and the stories behind it. I think that really interests me. But let's be honest.
Yeah, I saw in your room earlier when I came over to your house, you have a book on your ground called Best Baseball Scuffles of All Time.
Yeah,
or whatever.
bench clearing. Yeah, some of these fights are intense. Like, people, baseball is not a contact sport. Bullshit. Are you kidding me? Baseball is a contact sport.
It's only contact if you wear contact lenses.
Anyways, so, in regards to, let me just say something. This is... Apparently today, you know how like Facebook has those anniversary things where you get on your phone, you're like, 4 years ago I made a post.
Like every single day, and they're all from 2011 for me, and I just want to die because...
I know, it's just like, it's annoying. So today I woke up and I looked at my phone and it says, I will admit, I do like the little videos they'll make about like, you made this post 6 years ago. Thanks
You made friends with Jose Gonzalez 8 years ago. And you've been friends since, and it's the two Yetis, and they high five, and they look at each other like they've, never been in the same room. It's nice.
They've never been in the same room.
My favorite with those things, though, is when the pictures that involve you guys, like the two people, don't actually have the two people in it. Like it's just memes that you guys shared each other, with each other. It's really funny because Zane made a video like that about me, like for our friendship, I think last year or something like that, and it was like celebrating 7 years of friendship, and all of it was just like tag your friends in this meme. And I just kind of looked at it and I was like, yep, that's me.
Yep,
Yellow Power Ranger in a nightclub.
Nightclub?
Like, yeah, it was a picture of, like, people dressed up as the original Power Rangers.
Oh.
And it's just like a nightclub, and the person with the camera obviously didn't know what stabilization means.
Yeah, so
funny.
I woke up and I have like a morning ritual. One of the first things I do is I grab my phone and I go through my Facebook notifications, and I saw that today, on July 25th, 2011, was when I first joined Facebook. So today is the 6-year anniversary, so I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's kind of cool. And it's funny because I can remember specifically back to that time when I got a Facebook, because that was right before the beginning of my sophomore year. I was one of the only kids in my band class that didn't have a Facebook. Mm-hmm. So people couldn't get a hold of me, all 3 people. And I remember I made a Facebook. I had to like talk to my dad into it, but he was just like, okay, fine. And I remember the first person I messaged and had a conversation with. Yeah, I remember my first profile picture, which don't say anything.
Come on, man, it's hilarious.
Look, I was 2011, all right? It was a dark time for
You
me.
were 2011? You yourself were the year 2011?
It was a dark time, all right? 2011 to 2012 was not a good... Well, did you hear that voice crack? It was not a good 10 months for me. So, yeah, there's that. And what else did we do? Today we went to... Alex came to my house, and...
Are we just gonna recap what's going on today?
Yeah, a little bit. We're just talking, because another thing that I do is I do weekly drum covers. Son of a bitch. I do weekly drum covers, and I just did...
I told you to mute your goddamn phone.
Once my phone is at 100%, I'll mute it. Anyways, I just did my 200th drum cover last week, and about a month and a half ago, we went to Dutch Bros, and I think...
Dutch Bros. We gotta explain that at some point.
Oh, no, we will. But we were sitting there talking at like 3:30 in the morning, and I think Alex came up with the idea. He's just like, hey, can your 200th drum cover be this? And I'm like, no. And he's just like, why not? I'm like, I don't want to. And then he's like, why don't you let me do... I'm just going to say it. He said, why don't you let me just cover 36 by System of a Down? And let me just say, 36 by System of a Down is 46 seconds long. It's complete bullshit. And it's like the perfect...
It's the perfect song to do after like an 11-minute 200th drum cover song. It's just like, hey, here's this meme. There you go.
So he said that, and I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty funny. And then like the next day I thought about it, and I was like, that'd be kind of funny to do, like, because my 200th was literally what he said. It was 11 minutes long. It was like a whole day thing. I filmed and edited that whole thing, and I was so tired. So I thought, yeah, why not? Let's have him do it the next week, and that'll really, because I've never done that before. So today he came over.
Holy Christ. Can I tell this next part?
Yeah, just...
So I drive over, and Stone's busy doing whatever the hell in his room. He's having a good time, touching his pee-pee. I mean, maybe he was, I don't know. But
Is that what you wanted to say?
No. I was like messaging him. I was like, I'm here, I am here. I have arrived. And he was like, oh shit. Because like an hour before I asked him to come over, I said I was coming over. He told me like,
oh yeah,
I'm gonna take a shower. Guess what? He didn't take a shower. So I got there and he had to take a shower, and then he had to pour himself a glass of chocolate milk. But it wasn't like already made chocolate milk. He had to get the milk, get the Nesquik,
hold on,
mix it together.
That's the best kind of chocolate milk.
In his Anaheim Angels cup
that
he got from California.
Yeah.
And then we sat down, watched Sports Center on ESPN.
It was MLB Network.
Aren't they the same thing?
No, baseball. You know how golf has its own channel? Baseball has its own channel.
Well, dude, shows how much I give a shit about baseball.
Are you gonna tell you're telling everything?
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're building up to it, aren't you?
What am I building up to?
To the climax of the story.
I'm climaxing right now, man.
All right, we'll continue.
So we're sitting there watching two donut holes, and when I say donut holes, I mean two middle-aged white bald men throwing around a baseball in a fake. He might as. He sounded like he smoked 3 packs of Marlboro a day.
Hey, that was Jim Tomey. You don't talk shit about Jim Tomey. Continue.
I can talk shit about whoever I want. Dude, baseball. When you say like, oh yeah, it's fucking this baseball guy, I'm like, literally who?
Literally, or like,
and then when I say something, you can be like, literally who, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's fair. I mean, we don't have to like everything. I'm getting way too sidetracked. So after we're done, he rinsed his cup, and then what? Did you count your tip money before?
No, that was after.
Okay, then we go into his garage. He has his drum set in his garage, unconditioned, like unair conditioned garage, and I've said
I didn't turn the AC on.
It's like 100 degrees in Arizona. That's where we are. So goddamn hot. Being in a not unrefrigerated. Am I retarded? Unair conditioned garage, while like constantly just moving your arms and playing drums. It's probably one of the most painful things I've ever done in my life. I sweat so bad. No, but like you could at least have a fan while you practice. I can understand not doing it when you actually do the cover, but like not even when you practice.
Well, sometimes I do when I practice, but you know, because I like to practice as you do on stage, and most of the time you don't have a fan on stage.
I mean, I guess so, but it's still fucking...
I mean, I've done it a couple times.
Still really hot.
Yeah.
So, trying to play 36 by System of a Down, if you've never played drums before, it's way harder than you think it is. And then, strangely, like, after doing it 30-something times, ironically, like 36 times, Stone's finally like, just play it. Just do it. See what happens. And I was like, oh, okay. So I started playing it, and then he was dancing around in the background, and I did it perfectly. And he's like, that's what you need. You need something to distract you so you don't, like, just put all your focus into doing it and then mess up because you're, like, too focused.
Yeah, you, like, need to, like, relax, but you need to, like, not completely unfocus. You need to laugh or smile. So I set the camera up, and I stood behind the camera, and I kept doing... Without explaining it, I kept doing my impersonation of Serge Tankian when he sings. He'll kind of just put his hand up and just wave it around.
Yeah, he wiggles his finger around like he's trying to point to something, but no one knows where he's pointing to.
And I would, like, you know, shake my hips and just dance behind the camera so you couldn't see it.
And it was perfect, and it's just the kind of motivation I needed to get the drum cover done.
Yeah, and guess what? He got it, like, 3 out of 4 times. Because he did it once.
No, those were the last 3 times we did it, actually. Like... The first time you said that was like the practice run, and then you set up the camera. I did it that other time perfectly. Mm-hmm. Well, almost perfectly.
Yeah.
I missed I don't know what the name of the symbol is.
The ride symbol, but you're all good.
Yeah.
It's actually a hi-hat.
And then the second time I did it perfectly?
The first one was like, on a scale of 1 to 100, it was like a 98. Because you just missed that one part.
Yeah.
And then the second one was perfect. And that was the...
Excellent.
That was the emphasis. Hey, this was the perfect one. So if you mess up on anything else, it's all good. We have a perfect angle. And then the second one, the second complete angle, different angle, was kind of laid back, more fun. But you still did it really good. And yeah, and it's going to be really easy to edit, and I'll upload it tomorrow. And it was fun.
Well, thanks for dating the episode. Yeah, me and my friends, we have a terrible habit of dating things that we record, like, really badly. Like, I'm not gonna say what it is, but I have a gaming channel on YouTube with my friend Alex. We're both named Alex. Isn't that confusing? And
a little bit.
Every episode, without fail, we've done this for like a year and a half. Every episode is like, oh hey, remember when we did this in real life on this day at this time? And it's like, wow, alright, cool.
I feel like it's
like, hey, today the Nintendo, like, one of the worst things that we've done is, so you know the Nintendo Switch, right? Came out in March.
Was it that long ago?
It was, dude. It's already
like it was
freaking the end of July. Well, okay, now I dated it, but I mean, you dated it before me, so who cares?
Oh, so you're gonna say I started this? Oh, don't blame this on me.
I'm just kidding. I'm giving you a hard time, man. It's alright.
Man.
It's alright, man. It's alright, man. It's cool, man. It's alright, man. Would you like me to talk like that for the rest of the podcast?
Please, no.
Alright, man. Let's do it, man. Hey, where's the money, man?
Are you saying man or mang?
Like I'm trying to say, like, you know, cholos. They're like, man. Hey, man.
Wow, you can't say that.
I can say whatever. Cholos. Well, like I'm scared of someone coming to my house and shooting me dead. I want that to happen. But what was I saying before? I was saying, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
We used to talk about it on our gaming channel all the time. But then my friend took, because he's the only one who edits any of the episodes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So he just didn't edit any episodes for a really long time. So this, like, we recorded stuff before the Switch was even revealed to be the Switch. Like, when it was called the NX. And that was the name of the code name. You know how, like, the GameCube was nicknamed the Dolphin and stuff?
I did not know that, actually.
Well, that's a piece of trivia for you.
Ooh.
That was its code name. And Pikmin, the game Pikmin on the GameCube, has a ship called the Dolphin, and it's a reference to that.
Oh, I can't wait to do my baseball trivia on you.
Dude, I'm video games, you're sports, and both are equally interesting but completely useless in real life.
I'm sports, music, movies, TV shows, all that stuff.
And then I'm video games and kind of art, maybe. Not really. I'm still trying to learn. But yeah, we're talking about the NX on episodes, and then finally he gets out of the slump and starts recording, like, editing stuff again.
He gets out of the slump.
That's what he goes between, like, these just periods of time where he'll edit a bunch of things, and then he'll just stop for like 4 months, and then he'll edit like 30 episodes, and then he'll just stop and upload all of them. It's weird, but if you're listening, Alex, I love you. I love that guy, but I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying that's what happens.
Talk shit, get hit, bro.
I hope someone fucking hits me. I need a good old knock on the noggin. That'll probably set me straight. I meant with like a baseball bat. So I kissed him upside the head with an aluminum baseball bat. My name is Mud.
Shout out to My Name is Mud by Primus for giving us that meme that lasted for 3 days.
We have so many memes that stem. I need to fucking finish it. That's another thing. If you're gonna watch this podcast and you don't like people who
you can't
constantly
watch podcasts, you can only listen to it.
We're gonna have visuals. Fuck you.
I just had to do it.
If you don't like listening to podcasts where people go on tangents and can't tell a single story, this podcast is not for you, because I am the worst offender of just going off on random tangents while telling a story.
That should have been the intro to the podcast.
Fuck. Well, I mean, like, either way, anybody who hates that shit will have left by now. So, but okay, so we're talking about Nintendo Switch, and then like he uploads a video like 4 months after the Switch comes out, and we're still talking about the NX, because that's how far back he was procrastinating with
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm kind of exaggerating, but that's kind of what happened. I was like,
no, still,
it's kind of funny. Yeah, sorry, I farted. It's a natural part of life. Deal with it.
Can I just mention, when I went to Office Max and I bought this notebook, look at this. Look how long this thing is. I'm holding the receipt. Can we just... No, can we just...
Sorry.
No, just let me see this thing. Can we talk about... How long would you say? This is like what?
This is...
Over a foot?
Yeah, a good foot and a half, definitely.
Yeah, why... And I thought this was just at CVS Pharmacy.
Uh-huh.
But why... I guess Office Max does this. Look at this.
45% off.
Look,
one
okay,
item.
look. This is a repeat.
All these dumb fucking
this
coupons that no one ever uses.
Yeah, this is a copy from the top here. So this thing should be like a foot long. Instead, it's a foot and a half long. Why? It just pisses me off. I hate it.
Oh, wow. It's a waste of paper. Almost like that book full of baseball stats. That's like bigger than like every yellow pages I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I have a baseball encyclopedia, and I gave it to Alex to read while I went in the shower.
You did not give it to me. You opened up to the book.
Yeah, I opened it up to Nolan Ryan's, who's the best pitcher of all time, and I said, read these stats and remember them.
Isn't that objective, though? Oh, wait, no,
Objective.
not objective. I'm retarded. I actually don't know the difference. I do know the difference. It's just...
Are you okay? Is everything okay
I'm having a stroke.
Is everything okay at home?
Is everything alright at home? No, subjectively is opinionative. Objectively is like, this is set in stone. So no, isn't that like a subjective thing?
I mean,
like,
kind of, but it's almost like, okay, look. He has many records. First of all, he played for 27 years, 26 straight. But he's number one in strikeouts. He has 5,714 strikeouts. He's the only pitcher to have 5,000. So he's already pretty up there. And then he has 7 no-hitters. Most guys don't even throw 1.
Fucking no-hitters.
He threw 7. 7! It's almost like a video game. You could argue and say most people who play video games don't even beat a game once. And then you could say somebody beat that game 4 separate times on 4 different levels.
Are you fucking kidding me? There's a whole... Dude, that's what speedrunning is. Just
Well,
constantly
see, I don't
playing
speed run.
Good. It's a terrible thing. Don't get into it.
I know it looks awful. It looks like so much stress.
Well,
like what's
it
the
has
point?
to
Don't
be-
you want to enjoy the game? You speed
well,
run it.
no,
that's
but,
like too
but,
much
but that's the
work.
whole thing about speedrunning is that they enjoy the game so much that they have to find new ways to enjoy the game, and doing it as fast as possible is one of those ways. And or like, you know, doing like Zelda, for instance. You know how in Zelda you pick up those hearts that give you more life?
No.
Well, now you know. In Zelda,
Is that
there's these-
Is that another trivia thing I learned?
That's like if you played every Zelda game that's ever come out ever, you know that's the case.
I've never played a Zelda
Except
game.
Zelda CDI, but fuck Zelda CDI. Who gives a shit?
I've never played a Zelda game.
That is going to change, my friend.
Right now or after the podcast?
After the podcast, we're not going to play on here, not unless we actually have like.
We should do a
gameplay.
podcast where we do play a video game.
Are
like
you going to
Mario
pay
Party.
for the capture card?
The what? No. Like we just record. We'll just play the game.
Oh well,
Yeah.
it's no fun if they can't see what we're playing.
Well, it'll be like a special. It's like every once in a while we'll be like, hey, we're gonna
Korn
play
and Kock game night.
game. Yeah, there we go. It's like every 20 podcasts we'll do.
That is
you know,
way too like sparse. It's got to be like every 6th podcast.
every 6th.
Every 4th. Word.
Here, also one thing I want to do really quick is
Oh shit! You actually brought your iPod.
I did bring my iPod, so take this side in.
No, you didn't let me finish my Zelda thing.
Oh yeah, continue.
No, because you know how in every Zelda game you get the heart containers that give you more life.
Sure.
Well, you start out with 3 of them, right? Except in Skyward Sword, but Skyward Sword's gay, so.
You start off with 3 hearts.
Yeah. And some people, in order to, put an extra challenge, a level of challenge on the game, they don't pick up any of those containers, so they just have 3 hearts for the entire game.
Oh wow.
And that's like a big challenge, like one of the most common challenges, I should say.
Makes
Another
sense.
one is, like skipping certain items, like that you need to progress by doing glitches and stuff. Like seriously though, if you wanna see someone completely fuck up a game to like, but not fuck up, but I mean like, just abuse a game to the point where it's just like, how the fuck did the like programmers not foresee this? It's like so amazing, especially like, I keep saying like what's a good game to talk about speedrunning?
I was gonna say before as a joke, I would like to see someone speedrun Mario Party 4.
The story mode.
Yeah, the story. I would kill for that. Anyways,
I was gonna say, I'll say for right now to end the tangent, Mario 64 for speedrunning, like people glitch the fuck out of that game, and it's like.
oh no,
really
yeah,
cool.
I actually watched a video of a guy, or is it you?
Yeah, I showed you the video of the guy where he's like, time to talk about parallel universes.
Oh god, yeah, that 29-minute video.
Dude, Panicoic 2012 is one of my favorite fucking memes of
I
all
still
time.
don't know what a half A press is. It doesn't make any sense.
He explains it so like vividly in such detail.
I still don't get it. He didn't explain it that well because I still don't understand it.
You just haven't seen the video in a while.
It's 29 minutes long, and he just talks like this for the
He's
whole
like,
video, and he's
what
like,
if I told you that the speed Mario moves isn't necessarily equal to the size of his wiener? It's like, what?
all right, let me just say this.
But like, you actually watch it and you think, how much time did he sink into researching this game, dissecting it, line of code by line of code, to find out all these different things? It's you have to admit.
Oh
It's
no,
kind
no,
of
it's
impressive.
incredible. It's incredible, and he has multiple videos. It's not like it'd be different if that was one
That was
29-minute
just
video.
one video, and that was the only video he ever.
Oh, that I wouldn't give him credit at all. But he has, I don't want to say hundreds, but he has a lot of
He has
videos.
a lot.
Yeah, he has a lot of videos.
Panicoic, if you're listening to this,
Big
which I
shout
know
out.
you're not, fucking love you. Keep making videos.
I mean, big shout out to that guy.
No, seriously, if TJ Henry, I'm making quotations with my fingers, Yoshi tries to put you down,
Tries to put you down.
tell him to fuck off.
So let me just say
Tell him you
this
fucked
really
his
quick.
mom. What is he gonna do? Deny it?
All right, so
What the fuck?
the reason I brought my iPod is because I'm gonna pick shuffle, and it's gonna tell me what this podcast is brought to you by. So the first one is.
Well, that's gonna sound lovely.
Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. So for the first one, it is brought to you by The Twilight Zone by Rush. And there's 166 Rush songs. So once we run out of Rush songs, we'll go to another band. Probably Metallica.
You heard it here first. I don't know why I had to speak in stroke speak. You heard it here first. You heard it here first. Okay, now I actually can't say it.
Are you okay?
Is everything okay now? Oh my god.
Are you okay?
This podcast is brought to you by The Twilight Zone by Rush.
Oh, that gives me another thing we can talk about. We're seeing Metallica next week.
Oh fuck yeah, dude.
Now we're gonna date it. It's gonna be dated.
Yeah, alright, fine. Well, we already dated it 3 times. We're good.
Let's just call this...
The dated episode.
Yeah, the dated episode. Or how to date. We call it this podcast How to Date.
Now that's a clickbait title because people will actually think we're giving dating advice.
Well, there you go. That's what this one's called. I wanted to call this the sock situation, but we still haven't talked about my socks yet.
We can bring it up after you're done talking about us seeing Metallica.
Okay, well, yeah, we're seeing...
So we're gonna go see Metallica. We're gonna go sit down. We're gonna see James Hetfield walk up on stage. He's gonna go, yeah! And then we're gonna go home. We're just gonna go home. That's it. That's the end of the show. He's just gonna, like, cough into the mic and go, yeah! And then leave. And then Lars is gonna be like, ignore the fucking camera!
Oh my god, it's gonna be fun.
Jesus, it doesn't... Remember Saint Anger? And then he takes out a kitchen sink and just goes...
Yeah, that's St. Anger's. That'll be a whole podcast to itself. But we're seeing Metallica, and I'm really excited. I bought those tickets back in
No spit
February.
out the bone, no buy.
Oh, I don't think they'll play Spit Out the Bone.
What if they do though? We've been
I'll be
talking about
happy.
this. We've been talking about this. If they play Spit Out the Bone for like the first time in like a live concert, at that concert, I'm gonna cream my fucking knee.
Oh, I will lose it if they do. But I've been looking at the set list. They're not really switching the songs that much. They're switching like 4 out.
I mean,
And it's not that many. And it's not that noticeable too. All the set lists look exactly the same.
well, don't a lot of bands just do that because it's easier rather than, you know?
Well, they used to be better at it. Like I look at like 2008, 2009 when they like were the best at changing the set list. They changed like half the set list every night. And they used to play like good songs. Well, not good. They used to play like deeper cuts.
Fixer with 3 X's.
Oh my god. They'd never played Fixer live.
I don't
which is not really saying much.
I don't know what songs they have or haven't played live. I'm a pleb.
I know all the songs they haven't played live.
I can't wait for them to play Master of Puppets for the 1/18 millionth time. That's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be.
He's gonna go like, yeah, dedicated to my wiener's feeling you.
But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I've never seen Metallica. They're like the only major band that I like that I've never seen live until next Friday.
And Korn and Kock is gonna be there. We're gonna have the microphone with us, and we're gonna be like, "This is a Korn and Kock live podcast."
Can we do that?
We could live stream on YouTube. That'd be kind of dumb.
Yeah, we'll have like 4 viewers.
Dude, I didn't know it was next Friday. So when you told me earlier today, I was like,
Well, and what?
I like freaked the fuck out.
If I didn't say anything and I called you next Friday, I was like, "Hey
You're
man,
like,
you ready to go?
Are you ready to go?" And I'd be like, "Where?" And it's like, "To see Metallica." I'm like, "That's today?
Again?
Again?"
Yeah, but oh no, you know how pissed I would be if I called you on the day of and I was like, "Hey man, you ready to go?" And you're gonna be like, "What are you talking about? What are we doing?" And no, if you were like, "No, I'm hanging out with my dad," I'd be like,
Look, I know you're gay, but it's not time for that.
No, I'd be like, "Look, I like your dad, Alfred, but I paid for these tickets and you're going with me."
Alfred is sacred. You do not talk about Alfred.
I just said his name.
I love my dad. I love my dad. Oh, that's another meme. Well, I can explain that. Fucking King of the Hill. Whenever Bobby goes like, "Okay, Dad," our friend Zane, he's like, he loves distorting the voice, so it sounds fucking weird. So he's like, "Okay, Dad. Okay, Dad.
I'm okay, dude. It's
Bobby?
like a deeper.
Bobby, the demons have taken over your body." "I'm okay, Dad.
I know, dude. But like, why is that funny though?
It's not really. It's funny because it's not funny. Like,
exactly.
No, a lot of the things we say are funny because they're not really funny, but the fact that they're not funny is, it's like, why would anyone think it's funny? That's what makes it funny. Wrap your head around that shit. Anyways.
Shit.
All right.
Also, when are we gonna upload these podcasts?
Hopefully this will be the scheduling, and don't quote me.
Why are you doing the hand thing?
I'm trying to make my voice carry.
This podcast should be titled "How to Date" or "Hands On," because that's all you've been doing.
Well, they won't know that, except when you tell them, which is right now.
You're doing it again.
Fuck. All right, you know what? You might as well next podcast just have my hands duct taped behind the couch.
No, I'm gonna keep track. I'm gonna make a tally mark.
A tallywhacker.
Every time you put your hands up, I'm gonna put a tallywhacker on a piece of paper.
Put your hands up! Get out of my car!
Damn.
This will be the schedule. Hopefully, we'll look to upload every Friday. There might be some exceptions, but we'll let you know. We'll let the viewership know if there's any changes in that schedule. But that's about it. We're probably gonna record every Tuesday, upload every Friday, suck a little wiener, on the weekend. Nothing too gay. We're not fondling the balls or anything. Just a little bit of that shaft,
Wait, do I work next Tuesday?
What the fuck?
Honestly, I was
so messed up.
I kind of zoned out. I only heard part of what you said, so I'll probably listen to this again. And I'll be like, "What the fuck was he saying?" When I was writing that down.
It's okay. I won't recite it, just so it's a surprise for you.
Oh god. If you can actually recite what you just said verbatim, I will actually be kind of impressed, but also a little disturbed.
I already forgot. That's my memory right now.
That's good.
What else can we talk about? Ooh, I'm gonna ask you right now, and I have a book just in case you need to actually look for it.
Oh boy.
What's your favorite Mega Man Robot Master?
Yes.
It's not a good enough answer. You got Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh.
What?
Ooh.
What?
I just realized.
What?
That actually helped me remember what I was going to say.
What?
One time, and you'll probably like this too. It's really useless though.
What?
One time I was really bored, so I was like, I really like all 10 Mega Man. I'm not including Mega Man in Bass because Mega Man.
Wait a second. I think I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, and I was listening to Metallica and I was like, wait.
Yep, I know.
Metallica has 10 albums.
Yep.
So I kind of lined up all the games with all the albums.
Okay, this is perfect.
This is kind of dumb. This is kind of dumb, I admit.
No, this is cool. I actually liked what he did when he showed me this.
So I lined up every album, with every game chronologically, and I was like, this is kind of an apt analogy for both things. Because, Mega Man 1 and Kill 'Em All.
How about this? Let's do this. You talk about the first Mega Man, and I'll do the Metallica album thing.
Fair enough. Okay, so Mega Man 1, right? There were other platformers, so it wasn't super unique, but for the time it was unique enough that it, was liked by a lot of people. It was kind of popular. Not as popular as, the second one, but, it laid the groundwork for what the series would be,
Yeah.
It wasn't super revolutionary, but it didn't need to be. It was fun, it was whatever. And then we get to Mega Man 2.
Okay, let me just say that, what he just said, imagine that was the first Metallica album, which is Kill 'Em All, which is basically what he just said. It wasn't revolutionary, but it was remember when I first played you Kill 'Em All? And
yes.
You were just like, it's good. They were testing the waters.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it, is it was good.
Well, dude, you just can't fucking go wrong with, the Four Horsemen and Seek and Destroy.
Sorry.
Well, I know you don't like
Seek
and
Destroy.
I know you don't like Seek and Destroy because it was overplayed and it's whatever.
No, I really liked it when I first heard it, and then the third week into it, I was like, no, I'm done. But anyway, yeah, Four Horsemen, Whiplash.
I like Motor Breath. Motor Breath is probably my favorite.
Really?
Yeah.
Really, Motor Breath.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Motor Breath.
I mean, it's an interesting one. I might
Pulling teeth, anesthesia.
All right, so then you go to the second one.
We go to the site. We go to Mega Man 2. More refined, definitely better. Now, this is kind of where it gets a little weird with Metallica, because in Mega Man terms, 2 is usually considered the best as the general consensus.
Yeah.
But for Metallica, Master of Puppets is obviously the best album.
There is pretty heavy debate between those two. Those two are usually ranked.
All right, fine, but that's even better though, because.
But most people will say Master of Puppets is better, but those people will say, and I think I can say this for all Metallica fans, is those two albums are usually the top two.
Yeah. Mega Man 2, kind of like Ride the Lightning, considered to be probably one of the best, if not the best in the series,
Exactly. That's true.
refined a lot of things that the first one, did wrong. It's just fucking good. Like, it had flaws. Don't get me wrong, Escape, but Escape's all right. It's just kind of weird when he's like, "They don't have chains to hold me to my ground." It's like, what?
What's your favorite song off of Ride the Lightning?
My favorite song off Ride the Lightning.
See, it's kind of hard.
Either Call of Cthulhu or Trapped Under Ice. Honestly,
I have to say Fight Fire with Fire.
Fight fire with fire.
And then
you're not gonna finish the verse. You're just gonna let me. You're just gonna let me sit there and embarrass myself by going fight fire with fire.
I didn't know we were gonna do the second one, but
I'm just kidding.
Let me just say to wrap it up, Ride the Lightning is easily, in my opinion, the second best. You know what it is? 7 out of 8 songs are good, are really good. You know what the weak one is? Escape.
It's alright.
It's alright. And then we go to the real shit.
Real shit? I love that picture of, hello, food? Sorry, food machine broke. Understandable, have a nice day.
Understandable. We get to the third one.
Third, Mega Man 3.
Master of Puppets.
Arguably one of the best, if not the best in the series. It improves on shit that Mega Man fucking 2 did. And it adds new things while not taking away from the old gameplay experience. Music's arguably better. I don't know. With Mega Man, it's all pretty good. There's some that are kind of weird, but I don't know. It's just and it feels meatier than Mega Man 2. Like it's not really all that much more, but it feels like it's more. And that's kind of what Master of Puppets is like.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's just like, there's still only 8 songs, but those 8 songs kick your fucking ass so hard, and it's just epic from oh man, it's so epic. Yeah. Oh man, it's so epic.
Well, like he said, all 8 songs. That's why Master of Puppets is one of the best albums of all time, because all 8...
Well, that's...
No. Well, this is from my opinion, but really,
your opinion, but...
all 8 songs are just amazing.
What's your favorite?
Okay, my favorite is Master of Puppets. That song will always be... in my opinion, that's the best...
The flagship song is the best song?
Master of Puppets is the best metal song ever written of all time. And then...
You might piss people off by saying that, but...
Well, people... See, I thought about that.
I definitely say it's one of the best.
Well, see, I say that...
But I haven't heard a whole lot, so I can't say.
Well, see, some people will say, like, this Megadeth song, or this Slayer song, and I get that, I respect that. But when people are like... No, dude, this Cock and Ball Torture is the best metal song.
Cock and Ball Torture?
Or this Amon Amarth song is the best one. Or this Lamb of God. It's like, dude, really? Those bands were inspired by Metallica and Slayer and Megadeth. So you gotta give all metal credit. You can't give it, like, this one decade from 2004 and onward. It's like, no, you can't do that.
Understandable.
Understandable.
Okay, but my favorite song is Orion.
And see, Orion is good too. It's amazing.
It's so fucking good. Especially the change in the middle where it's like, dude, it's my fucking
it's
god.
Orgasmic every single time it comes on. Because that bass where it quiets down and it goes
do 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 do. Oh, it's so good.
So it's ending all of that. Rest in peace, Cliff Burton. That's the best Metallica album. You could even maybe say they peaked studio recording wise with that, and then we go into the fourth one.
We go into Mega Man 4. Mega Man 4, a lot of people like it more than Mega Man 2 and 3, but
really,
yeah, you'd be surprised how many people like Mega Man 4 more than Mega Man 2 and 3.
Huh.
But it's all right, man. It's fun. The music's in my opinion a step up from 2 and 3. Well, that's my opinion personally, because And Justice for All so far I would say is probably my favorite after listening to all of the ones. So it's like, not saying Mega Man 4 is necessarily my favorite. All I'm saying is, like, it's still really good. They haven't lost anything. And,
totally. But like we see the problem, And again, most people can agree, and this is almost just kind of like a fact, is the production on that album was just complete shit. The song quality was great. The songs are great. The sound quality was awful. And it still is. But the thing is like, one, Shortest Straw, Blackened, Frayed Ends of Sanity, those songs are great. But they sound awful. Because it wasn't recorded properly.
Frayed Ends of Sanity doesn't sound too bad. It's like,
I know what we're doing after this.
Oh, great.
Anyways, so yeah, you get 4. People like Injustice for All because when they play it live, there's that bass and it sounds thicker and fuller. So,
oh man, she's thick.
Anyways, yeah, Injustice for All, they had 9 songs. So they had an extra song from the Metallica formula, and it's still good. My favorite one is probably 1. Call Me Basic. My least favorite, and years after, is To Live Is to Die.
Yeah, To Live Is to Die is just kind of slow, whatever. My favorites are Shortest Straw and the Frayed Ends of Sanity, I'd say.
Not Blackened?
Well, I listened to the whole thing the other night.
Yeah.
And I was like, Blackened's good, but I like those 2 better. I don't know, it's just something about them.
Yeah, well, I mean, Shortest Straw is, I think, one of James's best vocal work in Metallica.
Shortest Straw!
Pulled for Shortest Straw! So,
sounds like he's trying to squeeze one out on the toilet.
It does. That's why it's like one of his best. But anyways, so we get 4, and that's the end of the 80s for Metallica. Then they toured for years after that.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I want to say that was the end of the 90s, the end of the 80s for Mega Man. I'm probably wrong. I think Mega Man 4 was in the 90s. But
well, Black Album came out in the early 90s, like 91.
I know Mega Man 5 for sure did.
So yeah, we go to number 5.
Mega Man 5. This is where it kind of, because Mega Man 5 kind of, slowed down. Personally, it's my favorite. The Black Album isn't really my favorite, so that's where the disconnect is.
Yeah.
But Mega Man 5, it's nothing. And this, like I said, disconnect. Black Album's still really good.
I wouldn't call it really. It's good. It's not. Really
okay,
good.
it's a step down from the last 3 albums.
Well, the thing
but
is,
it's still pretty good, and that's what I think Mega Man 5 is.
Well, it's like it has good production quality. The sound quality is good, but the song quality is a step down from Injustice for All. If that makes any sense. So you remember like System of a Down, why I hate Mesmerize and Hypnotize because the production sounds awful, and
yes.
Zane still doesn't really understand it. It's because Toxicity and Steal This Album production was top notch and great. But Mesmerize and Hypnotize was just down. It was a step down, sound-wise.
No,
not
I definitely
song-wise.
understand what you mean. Don't know if anyone else will, but they probably will.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah.
We gotta speed this thing up. We've
Yeah,
been on this for like
we gotta
15
go.
minutes.
Oh no, the next few albums are gonna be easy.
Oh yeah, no, okay.
These are gonna be...
Mega Man 6, Load.
Oh god, yeah, and this is 1996 for Load, a year after I was born.
Mega Man 6. At this point, it's kind of like, why?
Why?
Like, we get it. You had 5 games. Why did you feel the need to have another one? It's kind of like, it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
But why?
Come on. That's exactly it. Because you listen to, I mean, come on, Ain't My Bitch is a good starter.
The thing with Mega Man though is like, a lot of people think that game is like their favorite. I should just stop talking because that could go the same way with music. I'm just like this is all in my opinion, honestly.
Well, this is in my opinion too. This isn't our opinions. We're just comparing because it gives us something to do. But yeah, Load is definitely, again, the production was good, but the songs are just, of the 14 songs on Load, about 8 or 9 are good. 4 are at below average, and then 2 are just awful.
Oh man.
And then after that,
Mega Man 7.
Reload, 1997.
It's really funny because Mega Man 7 was the first 16-bit game in the classic series of games. Because you know how there's different Mega Man. There's like Mega Man X, Mega Man Battle Network, Mega Man shits in a fucking bucket in the woods. But
Damn.
It's Mega Man 7. It's like, dude, really? Come on.
That's exactly what
the
Metallica
music's
fans are
not
saying.
bad. The gameplay isn't terrible, but it's just like, dude, why? You already 6 would have been a good ending point. Like, why?
That's exactly.
And the other thing, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
Mega Man X, the next Mega Man, came out after Mega Man 6, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
Or Mega Man 6 came out after Mega Man. I forget which one came first, but the point is Mega Man 7 came out after both of those, so it's like, just go to Mega Man X. That's the 16-bit Mega Man that you guys were waiting for. Just go to that.
Well, see, Load...
What the fuck?
By the time... When they wrote Load, they had, like, enough material to make a double album, but they didn't want to do that because that would have been too much material, and I'm quoting what Kirk Hammett said. So they decided to release it 1 year apart. So Reload has kind of the same production sound and that same sound that Load had. It's just a different batch of songs. So they kind of sound the same. There's still some experimental songs on it.
Sorry, I'm trying to turn on the light on the fan above us, and it's
Reload is. You listen to Reload and you're like, there are some good songs, but of the 13, really, why do we have so much filler on here? But oh god,
that might be bad for the mic. I'm gonna turn that down.
But then after Reload, you had like S&M, and S&M was really good. A lot of people who stop listening to Metallica will admit that S&M is good. And then turn of the decade, or not the decade, the century.
Oh my lord.
We got
number 8. Mega Man 8. Holy fuck, this game is not good. It's not. The voice acting is terrible. It makes you want to die. The music is no, seriously, if you've never seen Mega Man,
I have not.
After this podcast, I'm going to put it up on screen actually. I'm going to put a clip.
You should put that picture of you.
I will.
Okay,
I'm going to put up a clip of Mega Man 8, like the voice acting. The cutscenes in Mega Man 8 are notorious for how shitty the fucking voice acting is. I swear to God, Dr. Light, the fucking main doctor guy.
Yeah.
He sounds like Elmer Fudd. He's like, Dr. Wowie, we need to go rescue the energy.
Sounds like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
The dedicated wham to add to the soul.
These seems to be energy resources. But I've never seen this type on Earth. You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man. That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wowie.
That's not what he says.
No, you want to talk about shit. We got Saint Anger of 2003.
No, but gameplay is kind of the same, I guess, but it's just, like I said, why?
Why?
It didn't need to exist. The story is kind of dumb, but then again, Mega Man never really had a big story. That's kind of a moot point. Ignore that last part. But music's not as, awesome as it used to be. Well, bar Tengu Man. Tengu Man's pretty cool. I also like Grenade Man. But you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But there's only like a few songs that I remember from Mega Man 8. The rest are just kind of like quiet and not really that good.
You want to talk about what's not good?
Saint Anger.
The fact that Saint Anger was my first Metallica album I ever listened to. Imagine that. Your first Metallica taste is Saint Anger. Now, don't get me wrong.
It must fucking suck, doesn't it?
No. Frantic, when I first heard it, the first song was great. I still love Frantic. Then you listen to Saint Anger, and you're like, alright, no guitar solo.
Wow, I didn't know James Hetfield suddenly became a homosexual. I can't say that, I'm sorry.
I've said it. Saint Anger is one of the worst music experiences I've ever had. That thing is like, 78, 77 minutes, and it's just awful. That snare drum sounds like people call it a garbage can. I call it a kitchen sink because it's funnier. And no guitar solos. Are you kidding me? Again, it's like you listen to songs like Invisible Kid and Sweet Amber and All My World, and you're like, what the hell? They should have just made an EP and made 5 or 6 of these. And I'm totally against EPs.
Well, that was the first album they made after they got back together after they broke up, right?
Well, technically they didn't break up, but they kind of like took a hiatus. If that makes any. They basically took a break, but they didn't like officially break up. So
they're like the Beastie Boys. We'll get back together.
So in a sense,
oh no, the Backstreet Boys. Sorry, I get them mixed up.
Oh yeah, the Backstreet Boys. But in a sense, Saint Anger is bad. If you really listen into it, you'll find some good parts here and there, but you have to like dig deep to find them. Like it took me years to like some of these songs. But anyways, we got the worst part out of the way.
Oh yeah, no, Mega Man 8 was the absolute low point. Low point. And Mega Man and Bass came out after that.
So we got number 9.
But no.
Are we still on 8?
Well, I'm not counting Mega Man and Bass in this list.
Is it a spinoff?
It's kind of. It's in the same style as Mega Man 8, but the music's better, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
More memorable. And there's no shitty voice acting. So it's like, okay. Apparently it was really fucking hard, though. Like, extremely difficult. And I mean, I have it for the GBA, which the Game Boy Advance, which is apparently the worst version of that game. Man, we get to Mega Man 9. Thank fucking God it exists.
You're telling me about Death Magnetic of 2008.
Oh, a return to form.
Yes.
First and foremost. Definitely you can say that about both things.
Without a doubt.
And it's good. It's good. It's fun. And it's not too complicated, but it didn't need to be. It's just fun.
That's exactly what Death Magnetic was. You listen to it, a lot of the songs are, safe to say, at least 7 minutes or longer. So the only problem with Death Magnetic is like there's too much going on. You have to really take your time with each one, but it's fast. There's guitar solos. There's songs with multiple parts. There's an instrumental, almost 10 minutes long, so it's good. But of course, you're always like, well, it's not Master Puppets, but it does sound like old school stuff, and you find yourself enjoying it.
I'd say it sounds more thrash metal than like
the
old albums, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, it's like you'll hear like a part where you're like, oh, I could hear that sounds like something on Master of Puppets, but then you'll hear something where it's like, hey, that sounds cool, it sounds modern, but it still sounds thrashy, it still sounds heavy, it sounds like Metallica, and that's what you really come away from. It's more positive than negative.
Okay, and then I guess you could say Mega Man and Bass is like beyond magnetic.
The EP that came out in 2011.
Fuck. But I already said something about that. But it's like, it's way better than fucking anything Saint Anger. We get to Mega Man 10.
Hardwired to Self-Destruct 2016.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
There's some good parts to it. It's all right. Mega Man 9 took all the nostalgia. Like that was the thing that really took at your nostalgia, and then Mega Man 10 came out and it was like, hey, we're still doing this, and everyone was like, okay.
Exactly. That's kind of like what it was. Well, I will admit
No. I will say Hardwired is a little bit cooler in that respect. I really like.
Oh no,
the first half and then like Spit Out the Bone are
no,
just
I'm talking about
awesome.
When they released that single Hardwired, the song, I was super excited. I was like, this thing is 3 minutes long. That chorus, we're so fucked, shit out of luck, Hardwired to Self-Destruct. I was like, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be. I thought it was gonna be.
This gonna be good.
I thought it was gonna be Death Magnetic Part 2. That's why it's kind of a deceiving beginner track, because you think it's gonna be like, all right, here we go. Then this album kicks in, you're like, all right, but yeah,
all right.
The first disc is infinitely better than the second disc.
Am I savage?
Yeah, that song totally should.
Fucking song title is that? Come on, man, you know better.
It was okay, but they should have cut that song.
That's like Sheep Man. It's like, why did Sheep Man have to be a robot master?
Well, you know what? I think we've talked about this thing long enough, so I think we should move on to a different subject.
Good idea.
Thanks for listening to that part.
Thanks for sticking around through that entire fucking long thing. Thanks for indulging us on that.
You gotta give him credit, because that was all on
that was like
Korn over here. Because I came over and he's just like, hey man, look at this. And he showed me the thing. And I was like,
because he's never played Mega Man, but I've listened to a bunch of Metallica. That's another thing I'm going to get you into. You're going to play Mega Man.
I'll do that.
It's kind of difficult, though. One thing I will say about Mega Man is that for beginners, like, it's going to suck. Because my first Mega Man game,
Yeah.
I couldn't get to the halfway point of any of the levels. I was so bad. But then after a while, I just kind of got better, and I finally, beat all the games.
Well, the thing is like when you're, it's just like
It's
you
something
playing
that takes
drums.
practice.
Yeah, it's like you playing drums in the garage, and I just sit
Like
there.
anything.
You got to practice it.
In
If I were to
life.
play Mega Man right now and try to play, you would sit there and just be like, "It's not that hard. It's not that hard. You can do this. I can do it." But you have to be like,
but I wouldn't be like that because you were really patient with me earlier with the whole.
well, no,
like,
see,
drum
I
thing.
think to myself, because I actually was very tempted to ask you. I was like, hey man, you want me to sit down and play it and just try to repeat what I do? But also, I was reading about Aerosmith's set list, so I was kind of distracted. That's what I was doing.
Ooh, ooh.
Basically, yeah. While he was playing, I was just on my phone reading about Aerosmith's set list, and he's like, "You look annoyed." I'm like, "No, I'm reading." And he's like, "Oh," and he kept going. But yeah, I wrote some of the highlights down.
Oh. See, because before we came over, Stone was like, I'm going to go get a notebook. And I was like, okay, why? And he goes, to write stuff down about the podcast. I'm like, oh, so ideas to talk during the podcast. He's like,
Yeah.
no. No. No, absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. Oh, I gotta watch that movie again.
The comebacks. It's
It's one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
It doesn't take a lot to impress him.
Oh, whatever. Movie? Well, if it's a comedy.
No. We'll talk about our differences in quality next
No.
podcast.
Quality in food or movies? They're two different things.
Food.
Okay, look.
We'll talk about food next time. You got to write that down. We got to talk about food.
Okay, look. I love comedies. So, I'm sorry. I thought I heard something. Anyways, if it's a comedy, I have a soft spot for comedy. So I will find something. I won't judge it as harshly. If I watch like a drama or a horror movie, like the Saw movies, which I'll ask you a quick question about that in a minute, I will judge it so hard. But anyways, on the topic of Saw, let me ask you something. I watched one of these trap things, and it was basically like two people in a room, and they have to cut, skin.
Oh,
off,
like,
and then
like
they
a
have,
Saw-like thing.
Yeah, and they have to
Okay.
put it on a scale, and whoever puts the most skin on it gets to live. But so you have to cut pieces off.
Jesus Christ.
But then if they lose, then they get a drill
To the head.
To
they
the
get
head.
a lobotomy.
Yeah, but
They get
then
the
they
incredible
die.
Burt Wonderstone to the
Yeah.
head.
Oh my god, that movie. Yeah, basically, yeah. But wouldn't you analyze that situation and just be like, okay, look, if I cut, I could still probably die. So I'll just sit here and just take the quick death to the head, and then that'll be it. Because in the movie, spoiler alert, I guess if you want to watch Saw 6...
Oh, it's Saw 6.
Yeah, Saw 6, so you're good. The girl cuts her arm off,
Oh, Jesus.
and then she wins. But she cut her arm off. It's like...
Did she at least have like a piece of twine or
Yeah,
something
she had-
to stop the bleeding?
Yeah, she had something, but, she...
Because that's the thing, if you cut
Cutting
off
it.
limbs, you need something to stop the circulation of blood, or else you're just gonna... Yeah, you will die.
Yeah,
instantly.
exactly. So it's like...
I mean, you might just die of gangrene later anyway, or have an infection, but...
Well, you'd think to yourself, wouldn't you just rather... What?
Finish that tangent. Speaking of cutting arms off reminded me of something. I kind of want to talk about it.
Uh-oh. But anyways, not just that, but there are some traps in the series where you're just like, why? Just sit there and whack one out really quick and just go out on a high note and then just...
Go out splooging everywhere.
Well, if you're gonna die a slow, painful death, like in some of these movies, yeah, you kind of want to fight. But if you're like that Venus flytrap, if you're gonna die in a split second, why try to cut the key out of your eye? Just stand there, flip off the cameras to the jigsaw guy, and then just whack one out, and then you're good. That's just my opinion.
You're not supposed to touch yourself. No.
It's like, I want to play a game. No, not that kind of game.
No, not that kind of game.
Okay, what did cutting off arms remind you
It
of?
reminded me of, that show, I Shouldn't Be Alive?
Yeah.
It reminded me of an episode, because I never watch shows like that, but my grandma, whenever she comes to visit, all she does is watch TV.
Yeah.
And she just has those channels on sometimes, and I just went into her room, I think, to go try and find her.
Yeah.
She wasn't there, but she had something on the TV, and it was I Shouldn't Be Alive, and it was this guy who... he was in his basement, and he like dropped his fucking pen or something dumb like that.
This is not going to be good.
He dropped his pen, and I'm pretty sure it was a pen, and it landed underneath. I'm gonna feel so dumb if it wasn't a pen, but I remember it
dropped
something like really stupid. Like, why the fuck would you actually go for that? But it went underneath his water cooler, like that like big boiler, you know?
Okay.
He stuck his arm in there to like try and get it,
Yeah.
but it was really rusty and like sharp underneath. So when he went to pull his arm back out, it stabbed his arm, and it like got all inflamed and stuff. So he couldn't yank it out
Yikes.
without it like hurting like hell.
So what did he do?
So he spent, I guess he had a knife within the vicinity.
Oh.
So, like, he was talking about how, like, he was just sitting there, like, yelling for help, and eventually his dog was, like, whimpering because it wasn't fed in, like, 2 days. So he ends up just cutting off his fucking arm. And then as soon as he gets out of there, there's, like, people burst into his house and, like, we thought you were dead. And they see he doesn't have an arm, and they're like, what the fuck?
What?
And then the guy ended up okay, but he didn't have an arm, and it's like, if it meant a lot of pain, but I got to keep my fucking arm, I just ripped my fucking arm out.
Well, like, I don't know. It's like you got to be placed in that situation.
Oh yeah, no. It would hurt immeasurably, like more pain than I've ever felt in my entire life. But I like having 2 arms.
But I like having 2 arms.
And let me tell you, like, I'm gonna bandage that like shit up as best as I can, and then I'm gonna call somebody and tell them to take me to the fucking hospital. It's not like I'm going to like sit there and bleed out and be like, oh shit, what am I gonna do, man? Or like try to drive myself and then pass out from blood loss. No, I'm gonna get somebody, you know?
It's like that movie.
Because here's the thing, he could have done the exact same thing he did when he cut off his arm, which is cut off the circulation, chop off, like just yank his arm out, and yeah, it'll bleed, but not as much as cutting off the circulation. And yeah, he shouldn't keep it that way for a long time because then his arm could just fall off anyway. But there's more of a chance that his arm's going to survive. So just then, as soon as you can, get to a phone, call somebody, go to a hospital, go to the emergency ward, and then...
Well, it's like that hiker.
I don't know, man.
Well,
it's just I always thought that was weird how he handled that situation.
Well, no, you remember that hiker that got lost?
127 hours?
Yeah, and that guy had to like cut his arm
See,
off.
that's the thing where you can't actually, move your arm out of the way.
Well, you could still just accept death and just stand there because no one's gonna find him.
Not gonna do that.
See, I don't know.
I would have cut my arm off.
I don't think I could. I think I'd rather just sit there or stand there and just
starve deliriously in the hot Arizona
Well, I mean, look
sun.
at I wouldn't have that much to cut. I got a skinny arm. It's not like these big muscle heads that have like huge 2-foot muscles. Yeah, you got to cut through 2 feet. Good luck with that. But I don't know. I don't think I could do it.
Well, that was a delightful subject.
Yeah, I know. We kind of ended that talking about Saw 6 and cutting our arms off and bleeding.
Hey, man, whatever gets you off.
How did we go from Mega Man Metallica to cutting our arms off?
That's a great question.
That's a great question.
One that we'll have to leave to the great mysteries of the universe. Like, is the female orgasm real?
Oh, it is, for sure. But, achieving or making them achieve that is the mystery of, like, what is the guaranteed way?
What is the guaranteed way?
Well, yeah, because it's like it's like golf. You do everything right, and you still can't hit the ball 5 feet. But you did everything right, so what are you supposed to do?
Accept death.
Achieving a female orgasm is like playing golf.
Yeah, for us, because we're not females.
Well, no, I think most people would agree. Kind of the same. Like, a little bit.
I mean, I was just kind of memeing, but whatever.
I was like halfway memeing.
Yes.
God damn it. Memeing, but I was also kind of being serious. Who Snapchatted me? That was Russell.
Who gives a fuck?
Oh, he's at the Diamondbacks game right now. I'm very jealous.
You've been to like how many Diamondbacks games this year? And you're jealous this one time?
This one time?
Alright. Anything else you want to say? Because I want to end off the podcast on a story.
Like you story, or we both tell one story?
No, like I tell a story. I mean, you can tell a story if you want, but that's why I'm asking you first.
Let's We should do that. We should end like most podcasts by telling one story each.
How about we alternate each one? Like I tell a story one, you tell a story one.
All right, I say we end it because I have to go. I've been having to go to the bathroom for like ever since we started, and I really have to go.
Well, that's because you have to go to the bathroom every 5 minutes anyway.
Hey, you know what? Shut up.
You love me.
Anyways, all right.
In a non-homosexual way.
No homo. All right, you tell a story.
Okay, quick.
Yeah, kind of make it quick because I really gotta go.
All right. What story should I tell?
Really quick, bro. Pick one, dude.
Actually, you know what? Just go to the bathroom. I'll cut this part out, and then I'll say it.
All right, that's cool.
I can do that. Just whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Story time.
Story time.
Story time. Right before we end the podcast, I'm gonna tell a story about how I got the Nintendo Switch.
Oh, are you gonna tell that one?
Ooh, I think it's a good one to end on because I mentioned the Switch earlier, so I think that'll be a good way to wrap everything up in a nice, neat little bow. So, go back to March. I really wanted the Switch. I didn't pre-order it when the pre-orders came up because I don't play that game. I'm not Nintendo's little bitch boy. I'm not gonna, wait. I'm not gonna be up at 2 a.m. pressing the F5 key.
Pre-ordering's stupid, by the way.
Yeah, I was talking with Alex earlier, about how just like Nintendo drops the ball with that shit. It's like pre-ordering. The whole point of pre-ordering is a person. We can go a little bit longer. It's the first podcast.
Yeah.
It's a celebration. It's the first one. Hey, cannoli, paisoli, the Panera.
Pre-ordering's stupid.
Yeah, it's like the whole point of pre-ordering is you pre-order, and that tells the manufacturer how many units to send to the seller. There's another term for it, but I'm retarded and can't remember. So how come Nintendo always runs out of pre-orders? It's like, what the fuck? You don't have the things yet. Just make more of them. Christ.
I'm sure there's like a reason they just don't want to.
Yeah, they they don't want to saturate the market, so there's this like fake scarcity, scarcity, so that people will want it more. Because if something's not available, people will want it more. It's basic economics, and it sucks, but I guess we'll have to just take it in the ass for a little while until Nintendo fake apologizes and they're like, oh yeah, no, we'll make more.
They won't fake apologize.
Whatever. Point is,
get that.
I wanted the Nintendo Switch. Fast forward to March 2nd, the day before it comes out in the US. I'm at work. I try to call all the GameStops around town asking if, they have any. And they're all telling me, no, there's already a line, no, there's already whatever. I call the one near my house. And they go, oh yeah, no one's in line, you're good. And I was like, oh crap. And I was like, how many do you have? And they're like, we can't say that. And
wait, they can't say?
Yeah, it's weird. But
they can't tell you how many?
Some people said it anyway. Like, I don't get what the reason is.
That's stupid.
It is really stupid. Point is, I wait like 4 hours. I'm about to get off, and I call them again, and they're like, "Yeah, no, there's already a line. You're not going to be able to get one. We ran out. Whatever." Whole spiel, and my heart just fucking sinks to the ground because I'm like, "Yeah, great. I'm not going to be able to get one for months, and it's going to suck." So I went home, and I messaged our friend Mayor. Let me tell you something about Mayor.
Oh boy.
Mayor's one crazy motherfucker, let me tell you what. He's energetic, he's always in a good mood. And if you ask him, tell him that you want to do something, he'll be like, let's do it then. And then it just happens. Because Mayor is there, the thing that you wanted to do that you didn't think you could do before just happened. It just happens.
I can only describe him as he is literally the angel of death.
I swear to God, he is like some kind of angel. He should be dead.
He is the angel of death. How many times has he should have been dead and miraculously nothing happens to him, but everything bad happens around him? It's because he's the angel of death.
And then he goes, "Hey, Lamau," and then takes a big fat bong rip. So I hit him up, and he's like, well, actually, I think he hit me up. And he was like, "Hey, Korn, what you doing?" And I was like, "I'm sad." And he's like, "Why are you sad?" And I'm like, "Because I'm not going to be able to get my thing." And he's like, "Fuck that, let's go get one." And I'm like, "They're not even out yet." And he's like, "Come pick me up." So I went to his house, I picked him up, and he's like, "Where are we going, fam?" And I was like, "Let's go to the GameStop to check out, see how big the line is." So we go to GameStop, and there's fucking 3 people in line. They only had 3 switches that weren't pre-orders. The rest were pre-orders. Everything else was like fair game, but the 3 people were already there. And so
Stupid.
he's like, hey, let's wait until midnight, and when someone walks out of there with a switch, I'm going to grab it, and we're going to get in the car, and we're just going to go. And I was like, that's a terrible idea, but I'm down. So he gets out of the car, and 10 minutes later, he's talking to the people in front of there, and he's like, hey, come over here. So I go over, and he's cracking wise with this, well, first let me describe who was there. There was one guy standing by the door, like kind of pudgy, looked kind of like mid-20s, glasses, buzz cut. He was just there. He was the last one there. He was just chilling because he just wanted the switch. Then there was this like really fancy looking business guy with like clean haircut, glasses, nice shoes, like wearing plaid. He had a satchel, like very professional looking businessman. And there was this like tall but kind of chubby emo chick with like wearing like red flannel, yoga pants, and she was saying nigga, and like just, I can say that because that's what she was saying. She was just like, hell yeah, nigga, man, yeah. You know, she was like a white person trying to be hip and black, but it doesn't work.
Like that one girl we met in California.
Oh God,
jeez.
Don't even get me started. And she was drinking a lot of Fireball, like a lot. She was pretty drunk.
That's probably why she.
And we were talking. We were just hanging out with them, and we're like, "Yeah, I want to get a Switch, man." And they were like, "You want to get one too, man?" They were talking to Mayor, and he's like, "No, I was just coming along with this guy." And then they're like, "Well, you could try other places around here, like Best Buy or the Walmart." And we're like, "Yeah, we'll probably drive around. And we'll do that." So we drove around a little bit. Best Buy had a line like around the building. There were so many goddamn people. We went to Walmart, and there was no one there. So we were like, perfect. We went inside Walmart. We went to the electronics section, I should say. And Mayor goes up to the guy, and he's like, hey, when are you guys opening the line for the Switches? And he's like, when we open at 6 a.m. Or like 9 a.m. And he's like, so you're going to save us one, right? And he goes, we'll see, man. He's like, and he looks at the guy's name tag, and he's like, yeah, Jeremy. And he shakes the dude's hand, like really firmly. He's like, come on, you got to save one for us. And he's like, we'll see, man. He's like, you better do it. I know where you work. As we're like running away.
Did he say that?
Yeah, he did. He's like, I know where you work. You better save us one. He's like, we'll see, man.
That's another thing Mayor always says. His go-to threat is, I know where you work. And you want to be like...
But it's not really a threat. It's more like playing around. You know he's playing around, but...
It's a playing around thing, but it's still kind of like, why is that your go-to thing? Like,
It's funny, though. I think it's funny.
It's funny.
Because, like, at his work, we're like, yeah, we know where you work, and we just met him, so it's
it's also like if you know you don't like your job, and you're like, I know where you work, and you want to be like, yeah, come get me fired. I'll get another job.
So the plan was, we get our stuff, like some chairs, some video games, some snacks, wait outside a Walmart until the morning to get the Switch. You know, get high, you know, do some fun stuff. That was part of the plan. So I take Mayor back to his house to grab some stuff. I go back to my house to grab some stuff. And then we're like, hey, while we're waiting, why don't we, because it was before 12 a.m. So we're like, why don't we just go wait with the rest of the people in front of GameStop until they get their stuff, and then we can go, you know, just chill in front of Walmart the rest of the night. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. So we go there, and the same people are there, and they're just chilling, they're having a good time. And Mayor offers the chick to smoke pot, and he was like, hey, you want to smoke with me? And I'm like, dude, I have to drive, I can't. Maybe when we're in the Walmart line, like, I don't, like, no one at Walmart will give a shit. But until that part. So, they go off to the side. I went with them because I just wanted to watch them. And she takes some pretty big hits from this little tiny bubbler. And she's, like, dancing around and like, yeah, man. And let me preface this by saying that chick had been waiting in line since 3:30 that afternoon. And it was 30 minutes until 12 when she could go in and get her Switch. So all of a sudden, she starts to shut down. Like something's wrong. She has to like sit down. She's like, I don't feel too good. Because remember, she was really drunk. But she also got fucking cross-baited. And she couldn't handle it because she was a little bitch white girl. And I was just like, Mayor, the fuck did you do? And he's like, dude, I didn't pressure her into smoking. She wanted to do it. And I was like, yeah, but...
What did you give her?
Yeah, and like the businessman was kind of like, dude, what was in that? And he was like, it was just pot. Like, I don't know. And so then she lies down and she's like, I need to go home. I need to go. Like, she's yelling because she doesn't realize how loud she's actually being. She's like, I need to go home. I don't feel good. And then they're like, but you got 5 minutes till the switch comes out. Come on. She's like, no, I need to go. And then so the businessman takes out her phone and tries to call her boyfriend for her so she can like ask him to come pick her up. And she's just like, I didn't get the game. Oh man. Like, she's yelling and she's like half crying. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt pretty bad, even though it was her fault. But like Mayor was just standing there with like the smug look on his face, like, hey man, if she's gonna be sick and go home, that means you can get the Switch that she was gonna get. And I'm like, dude, there's no freaking way I'm gonna take that from her. That is such a dick move. Like, no fucking way.
Can I just say, I was at work and I was about to be a part of this.
Oh yeah, I called Stone. I was like, dude, you gotta get the fuck over here right now.
You messaged me, you're gonna do it, and then you said you're not gonna do it.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you said you were gonna do it, and I just was so confused. I just went home, and this happened like 5 minutes from my house, so I could have witnessed all this in person, but I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah,
and I really wanted to when I first heard this.
So, but then the funniest part is that people with actual pre-orders started showing up and waiting in line, and they saw her, and they were like, "The fuck's going on over here?" And she gets on the phone with her boyfriend. She's finally like, "Babe, I need you to pick me up. I did something really bad." And you can hear him over the phone. He's like, "What happened?" And she's like, "I got high and I drank too much and now I'm sick." And you can hear him like, "The fuck? I told you not to do stuff like that." She's like, "Can you please be mad at me tomorrow? I just need a ride home." She just throws up everywhere. Oh, just upchucks, sushi, fireball. Just the smell was unique and unforgettable, but it was terrible. And then finally her boyfriend just hangs up, and she's like, "Babe, babe," and then she tries to redial, but she can't do it.
How sad is that?
It was pretty sad to watch. I'm not gonna lie. And then she was finally like, "I didn't get the game. Fuck!" I think, yeah, she yelled like, "Fuck!" like really loud. And the businessman was finally like, "You know what? I'm gonna talk to them. I'm gonna see if I can buy it for you with your card." And she's like, "Okay." And then he talked to them, and then they said it was okay, but she also texted her dad to come pick her up. So her dad shows up in like a really nice Mustang, and she like he tries to help her to the car, and then he tries to stand in line to wait for the thing, and he looks so disappointed. This man, oh my god, I've never seen a more disappointed father.
Well, wouldn't you be disappointed too if your daughter called you up?
She was like 22. That's the thing.
Yeah, but from what you said, she knowingly drank too much and then knowingly got crossfaded. It's kind of hard to feel. Don't get me wrong, I'd feel bad, but it's kind of hard to feel that bad when it was all their fault. It was all 100% their fault.
So he's just standing in line, and fucking Mayor is like, "Dude, that's a really nice Mustang." And he looks at it and he goes, "It was a really nice Mustang."
Did he really?
He did.
I didn't
It was
know
really
that.
funny because I think she like threw up inside the car.
Yeah, I'd never heard that part of the story before.
Oh my god, it was so funny. And then her boyfriend shows up, and then her boyfriend took her out of the car, brought her home, and then the dad was like, "Fuck this, I'm not staying." So he got in the car and he left. So in the end, she just didn't get the Switch.
And see, that's really funny.
Oh my gosh. And Mayor was like, "Yeah, dude, you can get the Switch now." And everyone was like, "Yeah, I mean, it's open." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm not going to do that." So another guy in line was like, "Hey man, I had nothing to do with this. I'm going to grab that Switch." And we were like, "Okay, that's fair enough." I just felt bad because I was kind of there and I could have stopped it if I wanted to. Even though it was totally her fault. Disclaimer, but
I probably would have just taken the Switch.
Here, and I was like, well, I guess I'm not getting the Switch, or we're gonna have to wait in front of Walmart. This fucking guy comes out of the GameStop, and he's like, "Hey, do any of you guys not pre-order and need a Switch? And I throw my hand up in the air so fucking fast. I'm like, dude, me. And he's like, oh yeah, sure, I got you. I pre-ordered like 3 of them at Best Buy because just in case any of my friends wanted them, but you know, I already got mine now, so, and nobody else wanted theirs, so I can sell you the pre-order. I'm like, dude, give me your number. And he was like this big, like burly guy with like a big beard. He was really friendly though. And he was like, what's your name? And it's like, Alex. And he's like, Alex is the name of my firstborn son. I trust you. And so like he's like,
say that?
Yeah, he said that, and he was like, I'll meet you in front of the Best Buy right over here at 12 o'clock tomorrow, and I'll sell you the pre-order. And I'm like, fuck yeah. He leaves, and dude, I throw up both my hands in the air, and I'm like, victory. Dude, it was such a good feeling. And then we talked a little bit more to the people that were there. Then they left. I really like talking to the businessman guy. He was cool. He had like stock options and stuff, and he was explaining to Mayor how like to buy and sell shares like over this one app on his iPhone. It was funny. And then the next day, I met the dude at Best Buy. We talked a little bit. He sold the pre-order back to Best Buy, and then I bought it right there in front of him. And the rest is history, man. And then I played Zelda Breath of the Wild Wind literally all night, and it was so much fucking fun.
Well, also, Breath of the Wild. I remember I came over. Well, we all came over because Alex messaged the group chat on Facebook. He's like, "Hey, I got the Switch, guys," and we were like, "Hey, dude, let us come over. Let's take a look at it." And we came over. I don't think Alex made eye contact with us for at least an hour straight.
Dude,
he was just looking at the screen.
Zelda Breath of the Wild is an addicting game.
We weren't even allowed to like touch the controllers we got one try each, and the second we died, we lost it. Like, I got it, died 30 seconds later, lost it. Ben had it, he lost it. And then, but just to mess with him, it was because at first I literally thought it was called Breath of the Wild Wind. So I was like, hey.
I think because I mentioned Wind Waker to him at some point, and he was like, Breath of the Wild Wind?
Well, for some reason I thought it was, I think I was thinking of something, but I was like, in a serious way, I was like, hey, how's Breath of the Wild Wind? And he looked at me like I said...
I looked at him like he killed my firstborn child
he looked
in front
at
of me.
Like I just insulted his mother, and I'm like, what? I just asked you how the game was. And he lectures me
Breath of the Wild Wind.
And he lectures me on how it's not Breath of the Wild Wind. I was like, oh. And then like a second later, I'm like, so how's Breath of the Wild Wind? So then it just became a whole thing.
It became a meme, and now I call it Breath of the Wild Wind.
And that's how the best inside jokes are created.
And that's how I got my Nintendo Switch, by watching some emo chick fucking ruin her chance by getting crossfaded. Moral of the story is don't do drugs.
Or at least
unless you're me, then you can do drugs. Drugs are okay.
Or at least wait until you get the thing you want and then do it. If you wait in lines, 10 hours and you have 30 minutes before you get it, don't start celebrating. Wait till you get it and then celebrate.
Yeah. The saddest part was that she was there since 3:30 in the afternoon, and it was literally 5 minutes till midnight.
I know.
That's like you just ran the Ironman like triathlon, and you're there at the final stretch. You've got literally like maybe 10 yards ahead of you, and you just throw your arms up in the air, and you just start, like victory jogging, not too fast but not too slow. And then the guy behind you just bolts past you and steals the fucking victory. Yeah,
dude, that's why, like, you never start celebrating until you know it's finished. It's happened to me before. I'm like, hey, I did it! And then I'm like, oh, it's not finished yet. So I got nothing to celebrate.
I take it back. Too soon! Too soon!
Too soon! Anyways.
Well, with that, I think that was a good way to round off this first episode of Korn and Kock.
And next week, I get to tell the ending story.
My gosh, I can't wait.
I can't wait.
And I don't mean that sarcastically.
All right, well, let's go over what we talked about. We got Seattle Mariners hat. We got 6-year anniversary.
You mentioned that in passing, dude.
And we filmed 36.
That was awesome.
We got the Twilight Zone by Rush. That's what this...
Sponsored by
Twilight Zone by Rush. And then I wrote these two things. The episode titles of this podcast will be either How to Date or Hands On.
That's another thing. Don't talk about the episode titles in the episode.
No,
That's another thing we do on the gaming channel.
No, I like it. It's like you're breaking the fourth wall.
boy.
And then the other one is comparing Mega Man and Metallica. I don't care what anyone says. I think that was actually really cool, and I like how you can compare those two things. And that was pretty dank.
Thanks, man.
And then we ended it by talking about Saw 6.
No, we ended it by talking about
yeah.
finishing second. All right, well, thank you for joining us on this
Big
lovely
shout
episode
out.
of what?
Yeah, big shout out.
Big shout out to everybody watching. Big shout out to Golden Shades once again. Thank you very much for the work you've done.
Thanks, Golden Shades. Big shout out.
Thank you to Zane for being there. Thanks to Russell for being there, I guess. Fuck. And thank you for everybody who watches.
Who's been watching?
We'll see you next week for the next installment of Korn and Kock.
Yeah, we'll have that voice crack. We'll have the latest news that we'll keep you updated on, both in the public and in our personal lives. We'll keep you updated on that. And
we'll make sure to come on the microphone. That'll be fun.
When will we see Metallica before we record our next podcast?
No.
We could probably make like at least 30 minutes talking about that alone. Because Ben's gonna come with us.
Ooh, we could have Ben as a guest. Maybe.
If he's not working.
That's a good point.
No, but imagine that. We're going to drive to Metallica with Ben. We're going to meet up. We're going to go to Metallica. We're going to hang out afterward. It's going to be a lit night.
That is going to be a pretty fun night.
It's going to be so cool.
All right, well.
All right, it's been real.
It's a wrap.
That is a wrap.
We will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Big shout out.
Largest shout out. All right.